to another episode of Cancer Tamer. I'm your host, Dr. Charley Ferrer. And with me today, we have two wonderful individuals that were also in the Breast Cancer Diaries play. And we brought them back for an additional show so that they can talk about what it's like being a cancer patient. So, welcome.
Hi, Terry.
Hello. Okay. Well, I was diagnosed in 2010, I'm sorry, after I retired from sanitation. I was stage 3, and it was terrible. I just felt like I was going to die. But I took chemo before I did any surgery, and then a few months later, I had a double mastectomy, and then I had radiation. And what made me continue to go through, even though it felt like my heart was giving away most of the time, like I was dying, my kids, they kept me going. You know, they kept saying, "You can make it, Mom," or whatever. And losing my hair, it was terrible. Yeah. My youngest daughter would laugh at me all the time because she was scared. I had a stocking cap on my head. I felt so embarrassed. And I was like, "Oh, it's gonna grow back." And she just laughed all the time, you know. And I felt like something was just giving away in my chest, and they would like rub my back for me every night and everything like that.
That's beautiful.
And sleep in my bed with me.
Can I move in?
But you have to know, Terry has 5 daughters.
5 daughters.
Yeah.
Beautiful girls.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's what made me know that I had to keep going. And then I had a church,
Yeah.
that was, they were so close to me, and they helped me do everything. So lots of prayers.
That's
Awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
What about you?
Joan?
Well, I was diagnosed in 2016, and I was kind of in shock when I got diagnosed because I had just retired. I was working for Catholic Charities for 16 years, and I had retired in 2015, just starting to make my way into retirement to see what I'm going to do now. So I'm joining the gym, and I'm planning a little vacation. When all of a sudden every year I go religiously for a mammogram and a checkup at the GYN. So I go in January for the mammogram, and everything seems to be okay. And then I go to the GYN a few months later, and that's when the woman, the actual GYN was a woman. She examined my breast and discovered a lump. And she said to me, "It's pretty big." She says, "When was the last time you had a mammogram?" And I told her only a few months ago. So anyway, I went back to the breast center, and turns out that I have a 7-centimeter tumor on my left breast.
Yeah,
Wow.
baseball.
Yeah, a big tumor. And I was like, wait a second. But I was only here 3 or 4 months ago. Well, they said to me, this cancer is very hard to find. I says, what?
7 centimeters?
I says, my GYN found it with her hands.
Oh.
Just by examining me. I says, you have all this equipment that you couldn't find it. So anyway, it's a long story. That was the beginning of my breast cancer journey. And from there, I went on, actually it was on my birthday that I was diagnosed.
Oh, really?
So I'll never forget that birthday. And my daughters came with me, and we went to see the oncologist, and turns out that I needed a dual mastectomy, several lymph nodes needed to be removed. They were telling me I'm going to need chemotherapy, I'm going to need radiation, and I was just total shock. I even said to them, "Are you talking to me?" I turned around.
I love that.
That's how much in disbelief I was.
Right.
That here I am, I said that these things, this happens to like your neighbor or your aunt or,
Right.
You see on
I
TV.
just never imagined it being me. So anyway, went through all the treatments, and I remember one evening, I had the surgery done, and I was 2 weeks into chemo, and all my hair fell out. And I was getting undressed to take a shower, and I took a first glance in the mirror. And I see this bald woman looking at me, and then I see my chest, which is just 2 slits going across. And I think I had to grab the sink. I almost passed out.
Jeez.
And I just said, wow, I don't know, this is not me, that's not me.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank God the love of my children, my daughters, my grandchildren supported me. They covered the mirror for a little while so that I wouldn't get shocked like that.
Oh, that's cute.
But I did go through the treatments, and everything did turn out okay. and it just was the biggest battle in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my children, like I said, the 2 daughters and 3 grandchildren. And in one way, this cancer was an example to these kids that, listen, when you have something, that's very difficult, you battle it with all you got. And you go into it, you try to stay as positive as possible.
Right.
You do the best you can. And you see, Grandma did it, Mommy did it.
Right.
And I was just like, so happy that they had seen that, you can win. You do win.
Yes.
You do win.
You do
Yeah,
win.
that's true, and you're here to
And I
help
met
other
a
people.
lot of wonderful people. I met all you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, hadn't I been diagnosed, we'd have never been
That's right.
sitting here today.
Right.
That's true.
And then I had the opportunity to do this play. So I have to say that, you have to stay positive. You get up every day and you do the best, and you just make a happy life, and that's how you do it.
And it is a choice. I mean, we choose the things that we want out of life. We choose how we want our days to go.
Yes.
We choose whether we're going to eat healthy or exercise or get out of bed. We make a choice every single day. Somebody asked me or made a comment about, oh, you sound like you're in Alcoholics Anonymous. It's like, yeah, in a way, it's the same idea of, you take it one day at a time, you take it 1 minute at a time, you take it one step at a time. And it is that piece of every time that fear pops up, oh my God, I'm going to die. Well, we all die.
Yeah.
But once you start
everybody
learning
does.
to be positive,
But you,
Yeah.
yes,
and you do this all the
choose.
time. It takes work.
Yeah.
Right.
It takes work. You have to
Yeah.
convince yourself that you're going to stay positive. And when you do that, and you do that every day, you start gravitating towards
Yeah.
the positive things that are going on in the world.
Right. Right, and
And
getting away from the toxic things.
And even if you
Whether-
have to lose friends over it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
And family.
yes, speaking of friends
Oh,
and family,
yeah.
yes, because I couldn't believe that there were a handful of friends, more friends than family, that just didn't call anymore, actually. And that was only after the breast cancer diagnosis. Some of them didn't even know I had leukemia a year later because they had never called that year, And that blew my mind. Like, I didn't expect that. And even though people say, well, they can't handle it, it's bullshit. You're a grown-up at one point, why can't
You
you give a
just be
call?
there for them.
Yeah, and like 5 years had passed, and I bumped into someone finally that I had walked with for years that, came to my house, we broke bread together, whatever. And she goes, oh, how are you? And I said, excuse me? You asked me 5 years
Yeah.
later? I had to say it, I'm sorry. But I'm like, and she was like, oh, I can't believe you're mad. And I said, excuse me. We've walked together for years. We ate together. Our kids played, did basketball together, and then not a word. And I knew she knew because my husband had bumped into her and had told her that year that I was diagnosed, and bumped into her the year later, and she never called. And I said, shame on you. I've learned to forgive you, but shame on you. And that was it. And I felt so much better.
He just wanted to be
Yeah,
there.
I was just angry.
I told my daughters I'm not preparing for a funeral. I am going to get new boobs. When the hair comes out, I'm getting myself a blonde wig. I always wanted to be a blonde.
Oh, look at that.
And I'm going to forget about it. I'm going to put my
doing
butt
the
kicking
Marilyn
boots on.
Monroe.
And, we're going forward with this.
Yeah.
That is wild.
I have to say, I have had my hair changed quite a bit. And so when my sisters and I got back together, they decided that they had to do my hair.
Yes, I
So if you notice, for in 2016 and 2017, all the wild hairdos that I had that
different
year.
colors.
And the different colors that I had that year. Because
Wow.
they all decided that my hair had to do a certain thing or look a certain way. So one of them had like this big red blotch of hair over here. That just, I kept joking. I'm like, I'm upside down. Because it was just one big piece of red on this hair. Or it got really black.
Wow.
Or it got, or it got short. Or it got long. And then one of them wanted me to just shave half my head off and then
geez.
have the other side going. And I'm like, no. This is where I take over my hair
That's
now.
right.
But
But didn't you have blue or purple or something?
I had
too?
a red.
Oh, okay. I thought you
And I
had a
had it
different
so
color.
black that it looked blue.
Oh, okay.
And then I had like a fire red on one side. I mean, You know, and I'm always changing my hair because it's like my shoes. I have so many shoes. I love my shoes. But it's that piece of feeling comfortable and playing. And I think, you know, from having breast cancer, this was one thing that, you know, I don't see it as a gift. Oh, I got a gift of breast cancer. It's like, you know, I just want to deck somebody when they say that. But it was an awakening.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, get your crap together so that you can move on with your life and decide how you want to be remembered, what you want to do with it, what, you know, this is life, and you know, God or the universe or the goddess is just telling you, wake up and smell those roses.
Right.
Because if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it.
Yeah.
And if you keep putting it off, then you're just wasting life. So if you're going to waste life, then don't be here.
Yeah.
You know, go find a little corner in the
Yeah.
woods and become a hermit or something.
What I liked about the place, when you guys talked about retail
Therapy, shopping.
because even though I was sick and I was on chemo and everything like that, I would find myself in the store.
Really?
I
Oh,
felt
that's
better
so
that way.
funny.
Because I was shopping.
Yeah.
I would be like a zombie walking through the store, but I still was happy.
Oh,
in
that's
it.
so
Yeah.
funny.
Yes.
And so to give you guys a little bit about it, you know, I consider it retail therapy is where you go out and you shop as much as you want. You know, you're feeling bad, go shopping. But here's a trick to retail therapy, you know, and one of the things that I didn't mention in the play was, you know, when you're doing retail therapy, make sure it's a credit card that you have, you know, like a Macy's or a JCPenney or somebody, so that you're not putting money out of your pocket for it.
Okay.
So that's like rule number 4. But the only 3 rules that you need to know about retail therapy is you take everything back within 30 days. So you could shop all you want, but take everything back within 30 days. You don't buy furniture because you get a charge, delivery and returning.
Right.
And you stay away from electronics because they have a 7 to 14 day life cycle that you can use them for before you have to take them back. And they charge you that restocking fee. So
That's how you learn. That's
So
true.
you end up, you can take it back and get those $90, but you got to pay the $20 for them to take it back.
Right. That's true.
So you don't want to do that. So, you know, so go and shop all you want, let it make you feel better, and then return it. You don't need it.
That's
you
true.
The
know?
problem is I don't return.
That's why she has so many gorgeous clothes, though. Yeah, not for nothing.
So I
That's
got
funny.
to where, you know, I did the one thing this year on, I'm a shoe whore. I will admit it. I love shoes. I mean, I can just like be naked and have my shoes and I'm a happy camper. But you know, so we did that. How many shoes do you have? And so for 1 month, my sisters and I were like, you had to wear a different pair of shoes every day until you finished all the shoes in your closet.
Okay.
And I did it for like 30 days. You know, and just one shoe after another shoe, sandals and regular shoes. I have that many, and I have them in boxes because I call them my to the door shoes. Because you buy them, they're so pretty, but you can't walk in them because your feet hurt,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I would have the to the door shoes, so they would just like sit there and look pretty. Because at least, you know, life was going crazy. I had a nice pair of shoes. Life is okay. You know, I mean, that's my thing.
Yeah.
And so now we're doing the boot day.
Oh, okay.
You know, so every day I have to wear a different pair of boots. You know, so I go through all my boots. I only have like 10 pair of boots. That's it. But you know, so I'm doing the boot day now. But you know, it's my latte factor.
Right,
is
and your
shoes.
therapy, like with me.
That's my therapy.
Yeah, my therapy was anytime I really got anxious and had to keep my mind off of things, I liked painting the walls in my house. I'd wake up one morning and go, I can't stand that color. I'd run to Home Depot, start painting. By the end of the day, we had a new color in, whether it was the bathroom, the bedroom. And one time I didn't like the rug in the bedroom, and I said, how am I going to get this rug up? Because they staple it. And there's a rug knife, and I did little squares, pulled, little squares, boom. It took me all damn day, and I threw it off my terrace, And this is how I deal,
Yeah, and it is funny because I went to her house one day to, I don't know, we were practicing or doing
you went to the
something,
bathroom.
and she's like, tell me which color you like in the bathroom. And
Oh, I
she's
have
got
so
like
many.
little swatches on the bathroom of the different colors that she wanted, and then I go the next like a week later, and
was
it
done.
was totally changed
I totally
because she had
did.
pain.
Totally.
Yeah, it helps, and cooking helped, and just being, with family. Actually, I held on to my sons a little too much in the beginning because it's almost like they're life preservers. They have life, they're young, and they're living, and you just want to hold on and not let go because you're so scared because you feel like you're drowning in a way, with that whirlpool. And then I had to calm down about that. And I felt there was a time where I felt that there was this one Deborah that played the victim, let me put the sheets over my head and just stay in bed and woe is me. And then the other lady, Deborah, over here was like, get your ass up already. You had your time to chill out and, be woe is me. Now let's get up. And you realize you don't want to die a victim.
That's right.
You just, you want to be remembered that you at least, stood up. You keep pushing me down, I'm still going to get up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
So
what it's
what
about.
do you ladies do to
What do you
pick
do?
yourself up and kick your butt and get out from under those covers? Go for
I
it.
wanna hear
Exactly what Deborra do. I go and decorate the house.
Yeah.
My friend across the street said, I could tell when something is wrong with you. Decorate the whole thing. That's what I do.
It's the truth. She does a great job, though. Not for nothing.
Thank you.
Me, I start cleaning.
I hate cleaning.
I have a lot of sex.
I'm a lot of sex.
Yeah, that one line in the play. You got to come and
You
see
gotta
it.
see it.
Actually,
You
it's
gotta see it. I'm
October
not gonna-
22nd.
Oh, yeah.
October 22nd
Yes.
at the Dot Theater.
Yeah, in the city.
That's a good pastime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a good
Anyway.
pastime. And it keeps you healthy. That's a great form of exercise.
I just create a lot of things for myself to do. From shopping, I get up first. I got this big list on the table, my to-do list, with 1,000 things to do, and I always start, take the most important things first, and I try to get my things done. A little cleaning. I love stained glass. My family been in the business for a long time, so I am set up to do that. But I wound up taking a class actually to get out of the house. I didn't want to do it at home. I went and I made this beautiful angel with all iridized glass. I gave it to my grandson for his room. And just had fun with that. Just doing that. You'd be surprised at things you come up with.
Yeah.
You just can't give up. You can't say, I'm so terrible this day. You can't do that. You have to get up and take charge of the day.
Yeah.
Right.
And it is that piece of, I went to the doctors and they were checking me out and they said, oh, well, are you in any pain? And I said, I'm in pain all the time. I wake up and my chest hurts so bad that I just want to cave in. And it's like, oh, well, we can give you meds for that. We can, and it's like, why am I going to be on medicine for the rest of my life? I'll just deal with it. I'll just get to where I stretch more. I run my fingers over my breasts to try and massage them to get the pain out. I can really feel it when the rain is coming,
It's so
whatever,
true.
your breast just hurts. So I'm like, okay, I need somebody to do massages for me.
And you know what? It's okay. It's okay to fall down a little bit.
Right.
It's okay to feel sorry for yourself.
I've
There
done
was
that.
a time, I stood in bed for a longer time than I should have. I cried. I was thinking about, why me? What did I do? Did I do something in another life that I've been chosen to have this? None of my family, God forbid.
Right.
But I seem to be the only one, And it's okay, it's all right, but then you have to say to yourself, that's it, enough is enough.
Yeah.
You have to have the ability to grab yourself, like
Right.
you just said,
Yeah.
and get up and let's get going.
Yeah.
It's time because you have people
Because
that are
if you
watching
do that,
too.
you're going to
That's
drown.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
so one of the things that I tell people is schedule the day that you can do a meltdown.
Right.
Because that's the only day that month that you could do the meltdown. If you're just starting, then once a week only. But you can't do it all week long. Once a week is more than enough.
And find
and
a
then
little
you get
happiness
to
in every day.
and you get to where you start, saying, well, I don't have time for that today. I need to do this. I'm too busy for feeling down. I'm too busy to,
Yeah, you gotta
to
keep
think
busy.
about that. I'm too busy to be afraid.
Yes.
Because you go and you learn something new. And the way that I looked at cancer was, this is a new step for me to decide, well, where's my legacy? What am I going to leave behind? So I've written like 17 books already on sexuality. And so I started writing books on cancer, on breast cancer, and the things that I learned and the things that are going to empower other women and other men. And, here, let me share my knowledge before I'm gone.
Right.
Not that I'm planning to die tomorrow,
Right.
but
We're all going.
we're all going anyway.
Yeah.
So I want to leave something behind so that when I get reincarnated, I read a book and go, wow, that woman was cool.
That's funny.
You have to find some happiness every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's the
Every
truth.
day,
You
whether it be
try.
a comedy that you put on,
Yes.
Right.
or you look at pictures of your children when they were babies,
Yes,
or
yes.
whatever it is that makes you tick.
Right.
Going down to the boardwalk on a beautiful summer's day, just looking at the ocean,
Yeah.
and
Living
just
in the moment.
just
Yes.
thinking I'm having a beautiful life,
Yeah.
and I'm going to continue.
And surrounding yourself with stuff that is, empowering. I got into audiobooks.
Me
Isn't it
Yeah.
great?
Oh my goodness.
I love
Beautiful.
audiobooks
Yeah.
because it's like I don't always have the time to sit and read.
Yes.
I'm dyslexic, so it takes me forever to read a damn book. But listening to them, I can do two things at a time.
Yes.
The multitasking,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
So now I could go and have a nice walk outside while I'm listening to my audiobooks.
Yes.
I can drive from here to Manhattan and listen to the audiobooks.
That's great.
Yes.
So
It's
that
so beautiful.
and
That's
you
great.
get so many messages, and so then it becomes the part of surround yourself with happiness, joy, laughter.
Yes.
Don't sit there and watch spooky movies.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You don't want to be afraid. I mean,
Right.
seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was in my younger, it's like, okay, I'll watch this so that I can learn that if my plane crashes in the middle of Alaska, I'll know how to eat my passengers. Really? It's like
things, this is
what the hell? That's the way I look at it. It's like, why would I want to learn that?
Right.
Yeah.
Let
It's not
me
useful.
think.
It will come
about
natural.
it comes natural, smart ass. But I would rather learn how Benjamin Franklin started all this stuff, or the new thing, the current wars. Wow, I would love to learn that. Amazing people that changed our history. I'm not very religious, but I got into Joel Osteen because it's
Yes.
he
there.
is just I love him. He
Yeah.
gets a little scripture-y for me sometimes, but he's such an amazing manifester.
He is.
And
Yes.
he can bring all that empowerment, and that's what I love about him. If
Yes.
you're not very religious, because I'm not very religious, so whenever he starts talking scripture, I start like, let me just phase that out.
Yeah.
But his message
Oh
is
my
so
goodness,
awesome.
that's what it's all about.
And it's all about
Yes.
happiness
Yes.
and joy and bringing laughter into your life as
Right.
opposed to brimstone and
That's
you're going to die.
That's right.
So find people like that,
Yes.
whoever it is, whether it's Joel Osteen or whatever reverend or the person down the street or The Secret,
Biology of belief.
Shannon, the biology of beliefs, Bruce Lipton,
Yeah.
which that man saved my life. And to find those little pieces of joy in heaven
Yes.
that are out there, and you're not going to find them unless you start choosing,
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
unless you start
That's true.
I
looking
agree.
for them.
And you have to have friends that are like on
Yeah.
the same level.
That's
you know?
right.
Right. That's
Yeah.
true.
And
Have
if
to
they're
be able to
not,
understand.
hey, I really liked you, I loved you, you've been with me for years, but you're a little toxic.
That's right.
Yeah.
I need to step to the line.
Yeah.
Let me
true.
limit my exposure to that.
Right.
Because it's like, hey, if I stand here, I get hit in the head. So let me stand here and get hit in the head. How long am I going to stand here?
Or
and
they'll
get hit?
drain every ounce out of you.
It's like drinking poison.
They'll drain.
Yeah, I call them vampires.
Just
Yeah.
suck the blood
Drain
right out.
everything out of
Definitely.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the vampire thing. I have to say, I'm a big
Yeah, I mean-
vampire groomy thing. But I don't like people sucking the life
No.
out of me.
No.
I
Suck on me, give me a hanky,
Right.
that's so much fun. But to take my joy away, I
Yeah.
don't want to be around people
No.
like
Right.
that.
Right.
That's
But,
true.
when I do get people, sometimes it's hard to avoid. You have a best
Right.
friend or a family member,
Yes.
And I've learned to say, when they're complaining and what they call it, whining
Yes.
and pissing and moaning, I say, listen, I've heard this story yesterday and the day before that and the month before that and the year before that.
Right.
What are you doing to change the situation?
Right.
I want to hear what you're doing. I don't want to hear the story no more. I know the story.
Yeah.
I want to hear what you're doing to change the situation because that's what I do.
Right.
If something is bothering me or ailing me, I got to see how I can change it.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
scenarios can we go through that's going to give me the best outcome?
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's
My
true.
funniest piece was I was actually with a couple of friends of mine, and they're all talking about how horrible their life is, and one was like, oh, well, my back hurts, and my knee hurts, and my head hurts, and my da. And she just kept going on and on and on, and I just looked at her, and she goes, what about you? And I said, I don't have anything wrong. I just have cancer. It's like, and all of them just stared at me, and I'm like,
Ah, that makes sense.
you know,
I understand.
I don't have anything wrong. I just have cancer, and I'm, you know what I mean? Like, why am I going to bitch about it the whole
Right.
time?
Yeah.
It's not
You
gonna
know?
change it.
That's
No.
not my
No.
focus.
No.
My
Right.
focus is,
No, you
you know,
can't.
let's go and have an adventure. Let's
Right.
go jump off a cliff and fly and skydive. Let's,
Right.
you know, let's do all these amazing things because. You know what? If you're not doing it now, when are you going to do it?
That's right.
That's true.
You
You
know, how
got to
long are you
take like
going
a
to wait?
canvas, a blank canvas, and get them colors out
Right.
and start painting your life what
Yeah.
you want.
Oh, I like that. Very
You're right.
pretty.
Make it yourself.
Make it
Yeah.
yourself.
Do
Right.
all the
Make it
things
what
that
you
you want
wanna
to do.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
And if you're low on money, if funds are a problem, you go on a picnic.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how beautiful it is. And you bring your own little basket or your friends with you. And
Or you start one of those
Right.
GoFundMe, you know,
Oh,
hey,
you can do that too.
I have breast cancer and I would always want to go skydiving or go to Paris.
Right.
You know, help me fund my trip. Help me find things. Help me, you know, be creative.
Right.
I can sell those 30 pairs of shoes, you know, and go to Paris. I
Right,
mean,
that's true.
you know, we do the
Celebrate
the
Life.
Celebrate Life Fund,
Yeah.
where we connect it with BCB Bank here on Staten Island. And you can do it with any bank.
Right.
But we connect it with BCB Bank, and basically what it is that for every good day that you have that month, you put in $1. You know, so if you have 10 good days that month, then you put in $10. If your test results came back, you know, positive and you're good, you know, and there's nothing wrong with you, put in $20, $30, whatever money
Yeah,
you want.
celebrate your life
You know,
that day.
celebrate whatever. You know, you're celebrating your child's birthday, put in $5, you know, and at the end of the year, find out how much money you have. And then with that money,
Then you do something.
go and do something.
Yeah.
Go and celebrate. I mean, I ended up, my first year that I did this, I'm very proud of myself. And I was very diligent in putting like $1 every day or $30 here and there. And just because I felt good, I just,
There you
you know,
go.
I didn't buy the shoes.
Generous.
I went and I put the money in my savings. And I ended up with $1,407.
Wow.
So good.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
I took my ass to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And I
Oh
went
my
to
God,
with
this
my
is
sister to
beautiful.
Amsterdam, and I had a great time for 10 days. She paid the hotel, so that was good.
Yeah.
You know, but I had $1,000 to fly my butt over there.
Right.
I got a really cheap flight, you know,
great.
and I just had fun in a different country going, wow, I've never been here. So, you know, so that piece of being able to do stuff that you enjoy. So it is that we're getting the call that we're ending the show. So, you know, find what makes you happy. Find what empowers you. And that's what you need to do. And so, you know, as we come to the end of our show, we want to thank you for listening. We want to invite you to come back and see other shows
And
that
come
we
on
have.
the show.
And come on the show.
Yeah, definitely come on the show.
Go to www.cancertamer.org and find out more about our organization. So I'm Dr. Charley Ferrer. Thank you so much for watching, and have a
Thank you.
blessed day.
Yes,
Thank you.
great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, ladies.
Thank you for being
you.
on our show.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
was fantastic.